Hey, what's going on, guys? Hey, welcome back to another episode of Bad Beast Barbecue. Hey, today we're going to be cooking on the Firedisc for the first time, okay? We're going to be doing a quick cook today. I found a recipe online called Mediterranean Stir Fry, okay? It has bell peppers, zucchini, onions, garlic, jalapenos, spinach, and you're supposed to use ground beef as the meat for the Mediterranean Stir Fry. But as a lot of you guys know, my wife does not eat meat. So we're going to be substituting the ground beef with a couple of bags of vegetable crumbles by Boca. Okay, so enough talk. Let's go ahead and get the fire disc going. I already got the heat going. Let's get some grease in there and let's start sauteing some vegetables. All right, so for the grease, we're going to be using Baconup to give it a little extra flavor. I'm going to toss some of that in here and let it melt. But you can smell that bacon already. All right, I have the fire on the fire disc at a medium. I may have to turn that down to medium low. I don't want my grease to burn. All right, so we got our grease nice and hot. So the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna cook our onions. So we got one medium-sized chopped up onion. We're gonna cook those until they get nice and soft. And I'm using a wooden paddle to stir around the ingredients in the fire disc, even though I do have the spatulas, and I'll probably use those at the end to kind of get the dish out of the fire disc, but I didn't want to have all of the metal scraping on the video, so may have to get me a little bit bigger wooden paddle in order to accommodate. Okay, so now that our onions have been sauteing for a little while, we're gonna go ahead and throw in the rest of our vegetables. Okay, so in this container we have one zucchini, one red bell pepper, one yellow bell pepper, and one jalapeno, all chopped up. Okay, so in they go. And what we're going to do after our vegetables cook a little while, we're going to push them up around the edge of the fire disc where it's still warm, but it's not overly hot. And then we're going to toss in our Boca crumbles, because it shouldn't take too long for those crumbles to cook, okay? And I haven't added any seasoning yet, so we're going to hit this with, I didn't have any strictly Mediterranean seasoning, so we're gonna do a combination of a little a little Tony's, and then I have some Italian Melody, Mrs. Dash, and with some black pepper. So we're gonna try to season these at every level, layers of flavor. All right, we're gonna push this up to the side, let that continue to slowly saute. All right. Next, we're going to do our mushrooms. I'm going to put a little bit more bacon grease in here. The vegetables seem like it took up a lot of the grease. So, a little bit more bacon grease. And we have some sliced up mushrooms that's going in next. You want to get those sauteed. And turn my fire up a little bit. All right, we're going to give those a few minutes. You know, when you're out here cooking outdoors and you think you got the perfect day, man, it's always something. If it's not the cicadas, I got out here early so I could beat the cicadas. It's the next door neighbor's 3 dogs barking, or now it wasn't even windy out, but now it's windy out and the wind is blowing. So I'm under the gazebo, and so hopefully you guys are not getting a whole lot of wind noise, but the perils of cooking outdoors. All right, so next we are going to brown our Boca crumbles. Okay, as a matter of fact, I think we got enough bacon grease. So we're using 2 bags of Boca crumbles. It said 1 pound of ground meat. Each one of these bags are 12 ounces, so it's more than enough meat. We're gonna let these warm through. I'm gonna go ahead and hit them with some seasoning. Little Zatarans. I'm keep saying Zatarans. Little Tonys. We're gonna hit the Boca crumbles with some of this Mrs. Dash herb melody. And we're gonna hit them with a little bit of black pepper. All right. So the Boca crumbles seems like they're kind of sticking to the bottom of my Firedisc, so I may have to use a spatula. I think the spatula is good for definitely helping us turn the crumbles over. All right, we're gonna move our meat up to the side too. If I knew the Boca crumbles was gonna stick that much, I probably would have cooked that last or put a lot more grease in the bottom of it, but we'll let it go. Okay, so we only got a couple more things left. All right, so a little bit more grease. If nothing else, this dish will taste bacony. We got a couple things we got left. We have 4 teaspoons of, or 4 garlic cloves, okay? So I'm gonna toss those in, but I'm gonna toss them in with this spinach, all right? So I'm trying to whip this bag of spinach down. So this is a 8-ounce bag of baby spinach. So we're gonna wilt that down, and we're gonna add our garlic. So, because I don't want my garlic to burn, so I'm gonna add it to the spinach. Try to wilt all that down together. All right, that's looking really good. Okay, and let's go ahead and get all of this mixed together, and then we'll put our final ingredient in. All right, and last but not least, we have 1 container of small tomatoes that we've cut in half. Okay, so this is gonna add a little bit more liquid to the dish and give it a little bit of a velvet touch. So, but I didn't want to overcook them, so we added them in last. So. All right, we're gonna turn our fire off. We're gonna throw the lid on. I left the lid open, let some of the steam out, and then make sure the flame is off. And we're gonna let this sit here for a few minutes and get nice and kind of steamed, okay? And we'll come back with a taste test and we'll finish up the video. So don't go nowhere. All right, guys, so this has been kind of in here warming for the last 5 to 8 minutes. We're gonna go ahead and get a taste of this. Get my lid hung up on the side here. That looks really good. Where's my spatula? Oh, the spatula's on the side of the Firedisc. All right, let's get a little bit of this. Nice, nice. And then we're going to, like I mentioned earlier, we're going to hit this with a little feta cheese. See how all that plays out. Not bad, huh? All right. Let's go ahead and put this back down. Put the lid back on to keep it warm because the wife is coming down soon to eat. All right, let's see what we got here. Oh, it smells really good. So, and I'm hoping the use of the Baconup bacon grease kind of took the place of the flavor of the ground beef, because you know ground beef would have gave it a particular flavor. So let's go ahead and see what this tastes like. Get some of this feta cheese mixed up in here. All right, here we go. Oh yeah, this is right on time, man. The saltiness of the feta cheese goes great with the seasonings. The silkiness of the tomatoes. The vegetables are perfect. They're not still crunchy. They're nice and soft. And to me, you can't tell the difference between, and at least in this dish, between the Boca crumbles and regular ground beef. I know a lot of you guys say, well, now that's not true, but you know, these are seasoned pretty good. So, really good. All right. Well, that's about it. First cook on the Firedisc, quick cook on the Firedisc. Okay, we'll be doing more of these as the season goes on. Okay, so once again, I want to thank the folks at Firedisc for sending this out to us, man. We really appreciate it. We love being a representative of the Firedisc company. Okay, so, and that's about it. So, thanks for joining us today. Like we always say, where there's smoke, there's fire. And if it's fire, then damn it, there just might be a barbecue there. Hey, as always, hey, we'll see you guys around the Firedisc. See you guys in the next video.